Hi, Jamie here. It's been a while, but I have an experience to share. I I've had a rough couple of months, but in a good sense. I've been processing some of the darkness that and kind of the shock of some of the realizations that I've made over the last few months, and I purposely put my practice on hold in a lot of ways. I would go through the motions, but I knew that in the back of my mind I wasn't going to be projecting. Because I was having a lot of nightmares. And for those of you that don't follow me, I kind of had some realizations recently that, and I had some really strong psychic experiences that shook me bad. And I was having nightmares, a lot of nightmares regularly. Nightmares about going to this bad place where all these people hated me and attacked me. It was, and then I would also wake up, I'd have my kind of in the middle of the night hallucinating, seeing things, bad people. And like once I saw this dinosaur man. It was just like a really dark time, and honestly, I'm glad it's over. I really feel like I've processed it, and I feel good. Just this last couple weeks, I feel really good. So I thought I'd share an experience that I had. Before I do, though, I wanted to let you know that I was interviewed on Joe March's channel. Joe, his channel is called The Grand Infinity, and he's got a lot of really great videos. I suggest checking out, but he had me on because he's having people on to interview and to talk about their practice. So it's an hour. I was super nervous, but Joe is so cool and so approachable, and it was a lot of fun to talk to him. So I'll put the link to that here for you. So my experience was I've been doing an 8 a.m. practice for quite a while now. 3 times a week I do my practice around 8 a.m. and it's been great. I've had a lot of successes, but I am going to be switching it up. So this experience was just a few days ago, and I have been more intentional with my practice, especially after these last few months of darkness. I do a prayer. I'm going back to the way I used to practice, which is, I'm not saying I don't take it seriously, but I got a little lazy about it. I just kind of would flop into bed and do the indirect method. Now, no. I do my prayer, I set my intentions, I do kind of my own little practice, and I try to lay on my back as long as possible, which is very difficult for me, but I'm getting better at it. I've been practicing, and I actually think I'm getting better at it. And this time in particular, I was seeing my hypnagogic imagery, which always is super interesting. And I called on my guides. I said, I want to talk with my guides. I want to talk with my guides. And just like all those years ago, I felt hands on my neck and I felt hands on my ankles, and it was such a lovely feeling to feel that sense of like comfort and love instead of being scared like I was all those years ago. And if you don't know about that time years ago, then I will put the link to that one too, because that is the life-changing moment for me. And I felt trust, I felt love, and I just simply let go and let them just kind of take me wherever they thought I needed to go. And sure enough, the hands on my ankles, and I could feel, it felt so, whew, and they just pulled me right off the bed. And so I just went right off the bed. And then, blip, I was in a place, there was a lot of water and a bridge. It was really beautiful. And there was a woman standing in front of me. And she said, welcome. And she said, and I said, what is this? What is this place? And she said, this is Nexo Knight Land. Now, if you don't have kids that are into Legos, then you don't know about Nexo Knights, but it's a cartoon about knights, which is interesting because the word knights comes up a lot for me. And the thing is that I recognized her. Now, out here, I do not recognize her. but at the time I recognized her, I knew her. And I've read people say that, you know, about their guides, you know, they know them, or recognize them, and I'm so excited that I had that experience. And she kind of showed me around, and I was losing my lucidity quickly, and I could tell. So I decided to turn the corner and see if I could just see around by the bridge before I lost it, and there was 2 people sitting there. And all 3 of these characters were very outside of myself, although I do feel like we were in more of a symbol land, so it didn't have that sharp crispness that sometimes it does. But it still was a really cool experience. But I did lose my lucidity at that point, and I went off into a very small, quick dream element, and then I woke up. So yeah, that's the experience I wanted to share. It's been a dark couple months, and I think for me that was just a beautiful thing to have experience after that. So yeah, so I'm going to be changing my practice. I wanted to let you know, for those of you that follow me, I'm going to switch it to a 4 a.m. wake up. I've been hesitant to do that over the year because, in all honesty, 2 things. One, I was being lazy. I don't like to wake up at 4 a.m. But number 2 is probably the bigger one. I was scared. And I think, doing this work in the daylight is a lot different than doing it at 4 a.m. in the middle of the night. But I do want to push past that fear. I feel like after my experience these last couple months, I'm ready to do that. I feel confident. And so yeah, so it'll be really interesting what comes. I know a 4 a.m. practice will be more powerful in a way. Well, it's interesting. I'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm open. So I think that's it. Definitely check out the video where I talked to Joe. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. Hope you're doing well.